This is going to be a little bit of a different video. Normally, I have experience of the solutions I show, whereas this solution is the first time I've really even tried this, and I'm actually looking for some feedback. I will put links in the description as I learn more about this topic. Please check out the description. I'll add little alerts if I do a new video, so a link will pop up to new video if I do a new video on this topic. So yeah, I'm exploring this. I am probably doing this the wrong way in lots of steps, so I'd really like some feedback about what people think, and if anybody does this a better way, an easier way. What mistakes am I making? I want to learn from this one. So hopefully you'll learn some stuff with me as well, and hopefully you enjoy it. Let's go. So the aim here is to have a Power BI report and have somebody go into Teams and be able to type in some commentary via a Power App in Teams and have that commentary immediately show in the Power BI report. Now, Dataverse for Teams allows you to do this. So a Dataverse table, essentially Dataverse is a way of setting up structured tables, and you can have this functionality for free inside Teams. Power BI can connect live to those Dataverse tables, and you can create a Power App in Teams that feeds that Dataverse table, and therefore the Power BI report refreshes automatically. Let me show you what I mean, and then we'll try and build one from scratch. So here's my Power BI report embedded in Teams. If you don't know how to do that, you just build a Power BI report, click the plus, and then search for your Power BI reports via that button. Okay. Then I've created a Power App in Dataverse for Teams. So this is linked to my Dataverse table. And if I just bring this down a bit, I've got the Power BI report here, just sitting here, so we want to see this update live, okay? So we've got 4 comments. I come in here and I can say add new comment. Let me just make this a bit bigger so we can see it. Okay. So then if I open this up a second and I say find this item. Now this drop down, remember this is a department drop down. We'll talk about this. I pick finance. The comment is, this is from Mr. Pro User comment about finance in June 21. Okay, so then I come over here and I say the date that the comment's related to. So I say, actually, I'm commenting on the June data, and let's just pick June 30th. And that's it, okay? And now I just click the tick. And in a second, hold on, let me come across here so we can see this. Let me see if I can expand this out a little bit. Okay, here we go. So once I click the tick, that pushes it to Dataverse. And in theory, within a few seconds, my report over here on the right should update and I should see the new figures. And if I come into this report and let me just refresh the browser here. There we go, 5 comments. There's Mr. Pro User comment about finance. If I put a filter on finance, it will actually filter down just to show me the finance comments. And if I hover over it, I've even added a little tooltip to say who the comment was created by and who it was modified by should somebody make a change later on. So that's the concept. So I'm going to show you now how I built it. So here's my base Power BI report. Nothing special going on here. I've just pulled some data in from an Excel file and set up a little slicer and a little card visual just to drop some fields in as we build them. Okay, so nothing special yet. There is one thing. The department table, this dimension table, if I go in here, department table, okay, this is actually coming from a data flow. Now, the reason I want that to be coming from a data flow is that when I enter my commentary, I want to be able to pick a department and have that department line up with this department in my Power BI. So when I do my filtering, I'm filtering the data here for a department, but I'm also filtering my commentary for the same department. So to ensure those two line up, I've created my department table in a data flow, and I simply went get data from Power BI data flow. A little link will come up now about Dataflows. I'll put a link in the notes as well. So I've created that. It's important because you need to be able to get a common key, I think, into the Dataverse table to do your filtering, etc. We'll take a look at that in a second. Right, so this is all set up. Okay, I now need to build my Dataverse table and put some data in there and build a little Power App on top of that and publish that to the team so that all these pieces can fit together. I'll then pull the data from the Dataverse table into Power BI using this Dataverse connector. And the great thing is you can do a live connection. And therefore, when commentary is added to the Dataverse table, this live connection means the commentary gets pulled straight in. A beautiful thing about Dataverse for Teams is it's essentially built in free for most Teams licenses. So I don't really know the details about the licensing, but from my brief overview of it, it seems to be covered in terms of the cost of general business Teams usage. So no special connectors, no special premium pricing, no Power App pricing, none of that, which confuses me something ridiculous. Basic, works out the box, so it seems. Again, please leave in the comments if I'm getting this wrong. Okay, so I would start this process in Teams online, not your desktop client, and I'll show you why in a second. So I'm just going to open up Teams in an online version. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm going to create a brand new team. Okay, so the team's created. Now I'm going to click on Power Apps. If you haven't got that icon, just click on the three dots and search for Power Apps. Once you've got it, you can add it here. You can even pin it. Okay, so I'm clicking on Power Apps. And then I'm going to click the Start Now button. And that'll ask me which team I want to save my Power App and my Dataverse in. Okay. So here it is, the demo DV commentary. I'm going to create it in there. And it'll come up with what do you want to call this. Look, I'm going to call it, just so we're nice and clear about what we're referring to, I'm going to call it app underscore PBI commentary and save. Right. What I'm now going to do is skip back out of here. So I'm going to go back to Power Apps. Oh, sorry, I'm clicking on Build. And then I want to add the Dataverse table myself manually. I just found it was easier when I tried this a few different times rather than trying to build it within the app. I click See All. Again, there's no new table option, which isn't great. You go See All. And then you get this option here, tables, okay? That's what you want to create, a table to store your commentary, and then Power BI connects to that table. So I can say new table. So what do we want this to be called? Well, I'm just going to call this my, it's your Dataverse table. I'm just going to call it TBL DV commentary. You can put a description in and all these sorts of things. Primary column is, again, this is like the identifier for every row that you add to this table. So name is, again, maybe I'm just misunderstanding, but name is just a strange thing to call it. Let's call it comment ID. Okay. Anything under here? Column requirement. Yes, it's a business requirement. Okay, save. And this little schema, CR967, is like the unique identifier for your table. Save. This then creates your Dataverse table with lots of columns, like standardized columns. Modified date, created by, modified by. Okay. So if I click on this table here, we're now in the columns view. See all these pre-built ones, owning business unit owner, import sequence number. There's lots of random stuff that you probably don't need or probably do. Here's my comment ID. Right, I want to add 3 columns. I want to add the date that the comment is relating to, and I can hook that up then in Power BI to my relevant data. So when I filter for January, my comments for January would show up. Okay, so date for comment. I want the actual comment itself, and I want the individual department name in a drop-down box so that people can pick that, and then that department name will link up. Okay, so first of all, add a column. Let's call it date comment, let's display name, sorry, date comment relates to. Okay, so there's going to be a date only, so date only. Is it required? Yep. And is it searchable? Yeah, we can have a search box. Is there anything else in here? Behavior, just go date only. I'm not quite sure on this, but I think date only worked a bit better when I tried it. Like I say, please leave some comments. I might be doing something crazy here. Okay, so we go done. There's the date. Okay, and actually while I remember, I go here to my comment ID and say the comment ID needs to be an auto number because I want it to automatically increment for every new comment people leave. Required is, let's leave it as recommended, probably is required. String, let's go date prefix number, so that the date the comments are added are just the prefixes. Number of digits, starts with thousands and goes up. You know, you can set all these things up. Think about it a bit in advance. I think that should be okay. Anything under advanced options? No, let's go done. Okay, so that's the primary key. We're going to add another column for the actual comment itself. And this is going to be text. That'll be fine. It is, again, required. If you're going to add a comment, you've got to put a comment in. And again, we can have advanced options where you can have more characters and stuff like this. Maybe you want 200 characters so people can write long comments. And there's probably other options in here like text area and other things, probably other little options you might want to use. Done. Okay, there's my comment. And then the next one, I want to add a drop-down box for the department. Now, what I'm going to do, having tried this out a few times, is create a data flow that taps into the same data that my department lookup table, my dimension table in Power BI, have that come into this drop-down list so they're linked. So here we go. We're going to go in here and say, right, I want to save this table. Right, save table. Okay, and just to show you, if I click edit data, this is what it looks like. There's my comment ID, there's my comment where somebody could type in, and there's the date that the comment relates to. Well, I want another column in here for department. Okay, so I'm just going to close that. I am going to go back to my tables, back to build up here. Dataflows. Okay, it's preview feature, and it's only in Teams Online. I struggled for ages trying to build this in Teams Desktop, and this Dataflows does not exist in Teams Desktop. I was really confused. Okay, so Dataflows preview. We go in here, I'm going to go new Dataflow and connect to, I could connect to an Excel workbook, a PDF, they've got a few options in here, but look, Dataflows. Okay, so I'm clicking on that one and I am going to say create a new connection to a connection name. I'm not sure if I need to change that for any reason. Organizational account, sign in. Okay. I'm just going to hook up to the data flow that I've already created in Power BI that feeds my Power BI report. So next. And here we go. Here's the workspaces. I've created it in this Dataverse commentary. Here's the data flow, and there's the department table. It's just department code, department name. Okay, awesome. Tick that box, click next. So here is this Dataverse data flow connecting to a Power BI data flow. Very confusing. Right, next. Let's just rename this actually. I'm going to call this DF for data flow, just so we identify it. Okay, DF department table. Next. I'm really doing this more for us, making this nice and easy to follow. Okay, load to a new table. Yes. Table name DF department table. Okay, let's call it for DV. Okay, for DV. Put a bit of description in there. Unique column name. Okay, that's going to be the department code. Alternate keys. Actually, I think I remember doing this the other way around. I actually wanted department name as the unique key. I think this just worked better. Go that as the alternate key code. So the department code, multi-line text, that would just be text. Okay, and again, this bit at the top, I'm probably doing something crazy there, but it just seemed to work better this way around. As long as that department name is going to be unique, which it's going to be a drop down. So if it wasn't, I'd do remove duplicates in the data flow. Okay. So here we go. We've got this option, and we go publish. I really thought about whether to do this video yet, because it is not the, end to end. I know how all this works. I know the traps. I know the tricks, but I just thought I'd get it out there and show people and get some feedback. So please let me know if I'm doing some crazy stuff here. Okay, so publish is in progress. Once it's published, I think it then auto refreshes. Okay, it says your data flow, new data flow 1 was published successfully and is currently refreshing. Here we go. There it is. It's kicking off. So that's now published. So if I go back to my built by this team, we can see the data flow, the app, and the table, essentially the Dataverse table. Okay, let's go back into the table, into the Dataverse table, and I want to add that drop down for department. So add a column called department. The data type is going to be a lookup. And the related table is this data flow department table for DV. Okay, and that is required as well. Make it searchable, sure, description, relationship name. Okay, I think we're good. So click done. So if we go edit data now, pending changes, save table, my bad. So now if we go edit data, we can pick from here, and here's my drop-down list of departments. Okay, awesome. And in the back end, when I tap into this with Power BI, it actually brings back the corresponding department code as well. So that's all good. Okay, so to allow the users in Teams to enter in that data nice and easily, we'll create an app. So if I go back to the build, okay, let's go back into the Canvas app. And I'll start with data. Okay, and here's my TBL DV commentaries. So it'll now drop a table in there with these fields in. Okay, so it's had a guess about which fields I want to add. Okay, now I won't go through the whole Power App piece, but let's just change a couple of these. So comment ID, let's edit the fields over here. I don't need comment ID showing, so I'm going to remove that. Okay, I do want the comment, I do want the date. I also want to add the department. Okay, so I'll add that. And there we go, they're all on a nice little line there. If I drag this up, you know, I could also add another section in here with the who it's modified by, when it was modified. I can tweak these items, I can add headings. You can fully get into the whole Power Apps thing yourself. Okay, so what do we do next? Well, let's have a quick preview. Let's add a new record. Okay, comment. Let's say this is a sales comment in brand new app. The date, let's just pick from this drop down and we'll pick August the 1st, and the department will be operations. Okay, and we'll add this. So a new record has now been added, and again you can tweak these items to display as you want. Okay, so with that record added, let's go and have a look at the Dataverse table. So I've added a record. Let me just click Save. And then again, we'll go Home, Build. And here is the table. And there's probably an easier and quicker way of getting into here. But if I go Edit Data, I should be able to see one record. There we go, comment ID. There's the record. So I've now created a table that Power BI can connect to. Right. Okay, so once I've got that, let me say I've built it. Let me go here to back into my app. Okay, again, I'm obviously doing some clicking around that I shouldn't here. Right, then up in the top right corner, publish to teams. So publish to teams. It then asks me which team I want to publish this to. Okay, or which channel, sorry. So I've only got one channel in there. So click Save. Sorry, I think I did this before. Publish to teams. Next. Okay, I think I had to click this plus. Add app as tab. There you go. Click the plus. There we go. I think I did this before and didn't find where it was. So save and close. Okay, now if I go over to Teams and I go here, here's my commentary, and if I click on it, in theory it should show up. Now, I had mixed success with this. It took ages to load the first time. I've had flashing lights, I've had all sorts of things weird go on, but it looks like it's worked. Okay, so here's my app inside Teams. Okay, over to Power BI. Here I am in Power BI. I want to get data from the Dataverse table we just created with that one record in it. Environment domain. Okay, hopefully they build a better way of doing this. Again, I'll put a little link if and when they do something better. I'm going to go direct query into the Dataverse. But where do I connect to? Okay, this is what you currently do. In here, I'm going to go back into Power Apps. I'm going to go into my about part, session details, and the bit you want is this bit here. Okay. Copy details. Oh, sorry, not the whole thing, just that. Okay, Control C. Right, so I want that little bit. I go in here, paste it, and click OK. And it's direct query is the key thing because that makes it live commentary. I don't have to schedule a refresh if it's direct query. Okay, sign in. Pick my right account to log in with. Okay, it's looking like it's working. Here we go. Okay, and the table you want to look for is, for me, it's this CR stuff. There's lots of other tables in there, no idea what they are. Okay, here we go. Table DV commentary. That's the table I want. Click it, click on transform. And now we can pick the columns we need, okay, which is great. Now, with live connections, everything works slower. The more commentary you get in here, I guess the slower it'll get. Okay, so what do we need? Well, let's go to the Home tab and we'll go Choose Columns, get rid of everything else. Let's go Created On, Modified On, and then Created by Name and Modified by Name. We then see these items, the CR, those are the ones that you've created yourself. Let's go comment ID, comment, date comment relates to, and then department name and department ID. Okay, that'll be the two things in there, I think. That will do, I think. Let's have a look, click OK. CR, that's not what I need. Date comment relates to department. I don't need that code. Okay, so let's click on this and get rid of department. Let's click on this one and see what that one is. So if I come down here, click expand this out, and where is it? Department code. Okay, department code, click OK. There it is, D001 is operations. Brilliant. Okay, so I've now got the things I need. This is the comment. This is the comment date. My department code is text, whereas up here in my department table, there we go, all good. Right, and then this one is my Dataverse comments. Okay, close and apply. And there we have it. Okay, the blue table signifies it is direct query. So with my Dataverse table, I'm going to hook up department code to department code. And because I've only got one item, it's going to get a bit confused. So it's actually going to be a many comments to unique codes here. And it's single direction. Click OK. Okay, so that's the first relationship. And then the next one, comment date up to date. Okay, it's not, it's many. So comment date to date, Sunday the 1st of August, hooking up to Sunday the 1st of August. Do not know why that's not allowing it. Let's pick a different column, like modified on. That's fine. But comment date isn't. That's very weird. Okay, so I've added a third record and just refreshed. So this one's on 8th of Jan as well. So that should force a one-to-many relationship. So let's go close and apply. Okay, and then we'll hook up date of comment to date in the calendar. It works fine. Okay, obviously it's a bit niche having one record, but it didn't like it. So here we go. We've got both now set up beautifully. Okay, so there's my table. Okay, so then over here we could say I want to show the number of comments. So let's just do a new measure. Okay, comment count equals, let's just do a distinct count of the IDs. What's the table called? Dataverse comment ID. That'll do. Okay, and we'll put that into the card. So there's 3 comments. We'll add the actual created on in here for the, oh, I've spelled department terribly wrong. Why did nobody tell me? And again, because this is direct query, let me just rename that. Rename. Because this is direct query, everything's a bit slower, all right? And then the actual comment itself, I guess, would be important to add, wouldn't it? Okay, so there we go. And down here, from our department table, from our department table down here, we'll put department name. And into our slicer, we'll put department name. So if I click on finance, it should, in theory, go down to 2 comments. You'll only see finance. Okay. Right. Also, I'm not too sure about this setting. I haven't really looked into it. You can have page refresh on and set it to refresh like every 5 or 10 seconds or whatever. I'm sure that has horrendous impacts on speed and stuff. So I'd probably turn that off until you really understand what this is about and the impact of it, and just make people refresh the browser. It's not a big deal if they want to see the comments come through straight away. So I'm just going to turn that off. Okay. I wonder whether that impacted that relationship thing at all. Probably not. Okay, so I'm going to click save, and I am going to publish this to my Dataverse commentary workspace. Okay, now I'm going to go back into Teams. In here, go add the Power BI report. From my Dataverse commentary demo file, that's the one we just built now. Save. So here's the report. Okay. Refreshes. I published it. I haven't put my credentials in. So here we go. I've got to go into Power BI. Of course, I've got to go in here, into my Dataverse commentary. I've got to go into the credentials for here because it's using, where is it? Dataverse, that one there. Click on the old refresh. Edit my credentials. Okay, I've got to put them in the service as well. OAuth 2. Okay, looks good. Common data source. I've already connected to these ones in the past, so they're already set up, so that's all good. Okay, back into Teams. Fingers crossed. Right, so here it is in Teams. Again, you see this one because it's live. It takes a little while. If I click on Finance down here, it does filter it. Okay. Right. I'm going to give permission to somebody else. They're going to enter in some comments, and let's see this pop up. Okay. So if I add a member, so I'm going to add a member to my team, and I've set up a little account called Pro User. Okay. And add that user. And click close. I've got to add that user to the Power BI report. So I need to go back into Power BI. Got to go into the Dataverse commentary. I've got to go and either share this report, so I can basically, simplest way is to actually give some access to the data set here, or you could go into the actual report itself and share with. I'm going to give it to specific person. That person is going to be the pro user. Okay. However, you've got to do that for every team member. So a simpler way of doing this, and I'd like to hear people's views on this, is under here, under access, potentially you could give viewer access to the workspace. I'm not sure I'm a fan of this approach, but you can't share a report to a team currently. You can't grant access, at least I don't think so. Whereas here, so my team was called, what was the team name? It was Demo DV Commentary. So if I come in here, the team name is Demo DV Commentary, and I can give them viewer access. You know, that's simple, but I'm not sure I like giving them access that way. There must be a better way of this. Okay, let me know in the comments. Right, so I've granted access to that, everybody in the team. I've added that user, okay, to the team. So under Manage Team, I can see that Pro User is in there as a member. Okay. Oh, and while I think about it, if I go back to my Power App and I go into the build, and if I say see all, and within these tables, you can manage permissions. Okay, up here, manage permissions. And you can say members are allowed to create new records and read all of them, but only update or delete their own. So that's quite a nice setting. Okay. Or can't create records. You can't seem to do it on an individual basis. There may be a way. Again, please leave some comments. But at least you can set full access or collaborate. Owners always have full access. Okay, if you don't want somebody to be able to change somebody else's comment. Okay, sorry, I'm going back into the new users account. So here we go. Let's open up this other user. So I'm logging in as them. I'm going to go to Teams Dataverse. They have access now. Here they are. In theory, they should be able to see the demo file. Awesome, they've got access. Okay, and if they go in to add some commentary, I did find that when I was in Edge, I think some of our organization security settings were blocking this, but Chrome worked fine. Okay, so if I go back to my Power BI report here, you know, with two screens, this will be easy, but I'm just trying to fit it onto one screen. Okay, so let's just move this down a bit. Let's move this up. Okay, move it wider. So here we go, 3 comments, and let's add a new record by Pro User. The date, let's go March the 31st. Okay, for HR. Awesome, give it a tick. And I should, if I come in here and refresh the browser, 4 comments by pro user, March. Click on HR, there we go. Awesome. Right, that was a long video, okay? And again, I'm not even sure I'm doing this right. Please leave some comments. Let me know what you think. Did you actually stick with it till the end? If you did, you deserve a prize, okay? So, thanks again for watching. Keep supporting the channel, let people know about it, and I will catch you later.